Greetings, comic book friends. Not the holidays, not me being sick, not even a really bad hair day can keep me from bringing TGIW to you. It is Wednesday. Thank God it is Wednesday. New comic book day. Excuse my extra sensual voice. I have a sinus thing that's been going on for too long. But I will do my best to get through. So this week, another good week, healthy, but solid for the most part. And then also a trade I've been waiting on. So excited for that. So let's just jump right in. So first, I'll get this out of the way. Parasomnia number 4. I have no idea what's going on in this book. That's the best I can do for you. I don't know. I need to reread all of it. I think this might be the end of an arc, so it's probably a good good point to determine whether I want to stay on or jump off. I just have to get around to rereading all. First, I have to get around to digging them all out, and then rereading them. So whether or not that actually happens, who can say? Up next, Department of Truth, number 22. I still love this book. The department is going up against an adversary, another organization, Black Hat. There was a lot of exposition here, a lot of setup, but at the very end, they definitely said, all right, next issue, some stuff's going to happen. Which it's still good, right? It's necessary to have those kinds of issues every once in a while, but I'm excited to see where they go with that, because there's a lot going on in that book. There's always a lot going on in that book. Let's see, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So this book is interesting. So we have a couple of there's another Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man number 14. These aren't related to each other, but they're both kind of entering realms that Spider-Man usually isn't a part of. Right? He's usually very street level. He deals with goblins and whatnot. He very rarely deals with magic. At least very rarely deals with like over the top crazy magic. And that's what's kind of happening in both these books. Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, there is some... so he's working alongside a Native American scientist, and I kind of assume that this is by a Native American writer, if not the entire team. But there's a lot of Native American lore that goes into this, but it's very, very mystical, and we don't see Spider-Man wrapped up in that a whole lot. Not to say it doesn't happen, it's just not his normal thing. It's just kind of weird that we have 2 books that kind of step outside of his status quo. But it's good so far. I really, really like the art. It's the type of art that's it's very stylistic, and it's good for a limited series. I wouldn't want it for like an ongoing, but for a limited series and for what the content of the limited series, it makes sense, and it's very, very good. I really, really enjoy it. So then Amazing Spider-Man number 14. So here we're jumping into Dark Web. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Again, this is getting into some Mystic stuff. It's crossing with X-Men stuff. It's getting into Limbo. Ben Reilly had all of his Peter Parker memories taken from him, and he's really mad about it, and Peter won't give them back. So now Ben Reilly's all emo and calling himself Chasm because of the chasm that's left inside of him. Can't make it up, folks. Can't make it up. I don't know how I feel about evil Ben Reilly. I can kind of see. I mean, I can be convinced because he doesn't have all the past anymore that made Peter Parker Spider-Man. that foundation that set him up for, with great power comes great responsibility, all of that stuff. Um, so I guess I can see it happening, but at the same time, like, he knew he was a hero. He knows like what he was doing was right, and Spider-Man is good. He has to know what he's doing is bad, but he just doesn't care. But I can be stretched to believe that it could happen because he is missing all of Peter Parker's memories. He only has his own. So from when he was cloned on, I can be made to believe it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. I like Ben Reilly. I don't want to dislike Ben Reilly. What is not forgivable is Chasm. My name's Chasm. I have a void inside of me like it's a chasm. That's dumb. That's so dumb. Orc Island. So this is the last issue of Orc Island. This was fantastic. When I read the first issue, I had an idea of what it was going to be, but it ended up being a lot deeper and a lot more interesting. I was really, really happy with it. This is probably one of my favorite Bad Idea books. Also, the backup stories. So these Bad Idea books have a small backup story that are usually just one-offs. The one, it's really good. There's no words to it. They usually don't relate to the book that they're in, like the main story. This one kind of does in a very meta way. It was very, very funny. So I don't know. I don't know if I can convince you to read Bad Idea, because like if you're not reading it, one of the reasons probably is you can't. You can't get your hands on it. Your store is not getting them. But and I don't know if they do. I think they do collections. I think at the end they'll do a collection of a bunch of them. I suggest picking up those collections because I don't understand how a company, a publisher, can do nothing but these 4-issue standalone stories and have such a success rate on how great they are. Like, there have been ones that I didn't super care for. That's going to happen. But the vast majority of the time, they are fantastic. I don't know how they, I don't know what their process is for determining, and a lot of the creators are people I've never heard of before. Not that I know every creator, but where are they finding these people? Where are they getting these stories where Bad Idea, like, why haven't these ideas gone to Image or wherever? How is Bad Idea getting all these? I don't know. I don't get it. But I sure am enjoying the ride. Alien 3, this is a great story. So we have a group of synthetics that are sort of like this hit crew, the super military hit crew that can be sent out to perform jobs, that's sent to a planet to retrieve a very special alien xenomorph egg. The planet is taken over by xenomorphs. It is uninhabited, or so they are told. In the last issue, we find that that is not true. And some stuff goes down in this. I really like this story. It's very good. I feel that the author, I can't remember who it is. It was something that I don't like. No. I feel that they really understand the alien mythos. Like they kind of get the attitude of it. It's very, very good. Daredevil number 5. We have Elektra and Daredevil, King and Queen of the Fist, which is the group that is meant to the ancient group that is meant to oppose the Hand, that they have now resurrected, and the Hand is getting stronger and more out of control. Bad things are happening. Frank Castle is heading it, so something's going to happen. But very good story. Sacrament 4 of 5. So one more to go after this. This also is good. So it takes place in the future where humans have left Earth, and they left, for the most part, left religion behind to the point where it's near illegal to practice religion. And suddenly someone is possessed by a demon. What do you do? What do you do when you need a priest but you've outlawed priests? But it's a good story about people finding the character finding their being ostracized and having lost their faith and then finding their faith. It's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting concept. I really enjoy it. And last one I have is Mindset number 5. This is another one that if you're not reading it, I super highly suggest picking up in trade. I really like this book. I've talked about it a lot whenever it's come up, talking about what would you do if, because it brings up these good questions, right? So what would you do if you had the power to, you'll basically do mind control, right? How would you do that? And you can spread it to anyone you want. It's not like contained. What would you do with it? Would you do anything with it? We get other good questions raised here of it. So we live in a world where there's mind control. We know that a handful of people know, right? This small group knows what this app does. It's actually mind control, but no one else knows. So you are in this group. You know that mind control exists in this world, and other people have access to it. How do you know what's real? Right? How do you know that someone else isn't controlling you, or someone has controlled you to forget something that they did, or you did, or someone else did? Like once you realize you're in a world with mind control and other people can wield it, what do you do? How can you be sure of anything? It's such a good book. It's such a good book. And then this I had ordered and it came in. Usagi Yojimbo Saga Book 6. I think this is a new printing because I was trying to get it. Second edition. Yeah, I was trying to get it, but it was out of print. But it came back in print, thankfully. These Usagi Yojimbo, and probably any of these sort of Dark Horse volumes, if they go out of print and you try to find them anywhere, they're like $100, $150, which I don't want to do. The reason I want these is so I can read it without paying a ridiculous amount of money. And these are a really good price. Yeah, you get all this content is $30. And it's black and white, but Usagi Yojimbo's black and white, so. But yeah, I'm glad this came in. And I've read up through 5. I also have 9. I need 7 and 8. I think those were out of print as well. Or maybe it was just this one and I was waiting until I got this one to order 7 and 8. I don't know. Either way, I've read up through 5. I now have 6. So, hooray, Usagi Yojimbo. But that is it. I had a nice healthy week. Healthy except for me. Apparently, I can't. I'm getting sick a lot these days. I'm being careful and all that. I rarely leave the house. Like, come on. But a total of 9 books. So, on the upper end, but still within our comfort zone. And all except for Parasomnia, which again, it's probably my fault that I just don't understand it, or haven't, either because I'm dumb or I've just it needs to be read together, sort of thing. So I'm gonna try to do that. But everything else stellar. I can't recommend Mindset enough. Sacrament's really good. I'm noticing, most of my stuff, I think I kind of had an epiphany that most of my stuff these days is not the superhero Marvel DC stuff. It's it's uh it's more indie stuff, and I think why that is when it how often they come out with a new superhero that it's an ongoing series and that is good and that I want to read it. Not very often. I'm to the point now where like I know what characters I like. And if there's a character that I normally isn't really big into, but I hear the book is good, I might pick it up. But on the other hand, if there's a hero that I like and I don't like the book, I'm not afraid to drop it anymore. So that kind of evens each other out. So basically, if those things cancel each other, which I guess, I'm only kind of reading a handful of characters, the characters that I know that I really like. The only place where sort of new stuff is happening is in indies, right? So I end up getting those because it's something new. Whereas, yeah, I'll read my Daredevils, my Spider-Mans, my John Kents, my Moon Knight. I know what I like when it comes to heroes, and I kind of stick to that for the most part. But indies come up with new ideas and that are interesting. So, but I should probably get better at going for collected editions of those instead of getting individual issues. That's becoming a problem too. Like to the point where I don't know where this is going to go. My multiple bookshelves are full. So switching over to collections isn't necessarily the way to go either. But at the same time, it's not like I have a lot of space for individual comics left either. So what are you going to do? All right, well, that's it. I'm rambling at this point. So that's all. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving if that is something that you are going to celebrate. Or if anything, if you're just going to get together with friends and family and enjoy each other's company, that's great too. If not, then I don't know. I still hope you have a great day or weekend or whatever. So like, comment, subscribe, all of that. And of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.